So Sucker Punch has finally released their long-anticipated sequel, Ghosts of Yotei. So back during the pandemic in 2020, Sucker Punch released their widely critically acclaimed game, Ghosts of Tsushima. And this marked the final entry in the PlayStation 4's exclusive library. The game really felt like everybody's dream samurai game, in which you can explore a huge, vast open world, do some side quests, help people out, go on your own journey, learn different techniques and swords and whatever you have at your own disposal, and also be engrossed in a very lovable cast of characters in a very serious and dark tone during the Edo period of Japan. Huge epic scale battles and wars, which is very fun and entertaining to just play. I kind of had this sort of like Arkham Knight style S gameplay, if that makes any sense, but not really, because you're tackling like multiple like enemies at the same time, so you're kind of like bouncing here and there. From what I remember, there were parts that were a bit janky, I'm not gonna lie, but to be fair, it was Sucker Punch's first game in the Ghost IP, so I kind of gave it a pass. Also, just the entire game is just super lovable and enjoyable. I really loved the DLC they put in, despite it being very short. I found that the moments between the battles, just like the 1v1s and stuff, were just so tense and gripping. It just made the experience so worthwhile and memorable. And also, you can forget the incredible performances put by the main cast, at least in the English dub. Jin Sakai's voice actor just top notch in that game. All of his lines were super well delivered. You know, the "you're a slave to honor" line, which is iconic and super memorable towards the end of the game. You know, when he is like kind of fighting his uncle. There's just so many great dialogue moments and a very captivating narrative at the time. While not everything stick with me narratively speaking, I thought that the main villain was kind of weak, I'm not gonna lie. I still thought that the overall story was very cool. I mean, it felt like a samurai, getting back on your feet, revenge type story. Using like the end justifies the means, kind of breaking the laws and your own codes of honor and stuff in order to bring back justice to your fallen clan. It just felt like super dark and robust and exactly what I needed to see in a samurai game. So anyway, fast forward now in 2025, 5 years later, we finally have the long anticipated sequel, Ghost of Yotei. I'm not gonna lie, at first I wasn't super hyped for this game. I was kind of like, oh, that's cool, another Ghost game. I like the first one, I'll try out the next one. I mean, from what I saw in the announcement trailer and the gameplay trailer, I wasn't blown away. It looked cool, but I wasn't like amazing until I saw more pieces of gameplay, and I was like, holy crap, this game is moving very smoothly, and there's so much variety in terms of the weapons and the enemies and the amounts of like terrain that you can explore. A thing that I didn't like that much about Tsushima, it was that there were just so many parts that looked a little bit too similar. I get that it was a small island, so things are bound to repeat and stuff, but I just felt like there could have been much more diversity. And Yotei really delivers in terms of the diversity you can have in terms of the exploration. These terrains feel vast, super big. I mean, even me, after beating this game, I still have a lot to uncover in terms of the map. And keep in mind that I spent a huge chunk of this game doing side quests. I think I did like almost the majority of the bounties and side missions this game has to offer, and I'm still missing a handful of them. And also like the area of interest that you can explore, like for example, there's like this little golden bird that kind of like just pops up out of nowhere to show you if a nearby area of interest. Like it could be a hot spring sauna, it could be like a wolf's den, it could be a shrine, it could be some random thing. Like it was like so distracting to the point that I was like, okay, chill out a little bit. Like there's just like so much to do in this area, and I literally just got here because of a new main story mission. Like it got to the point where I think I was playing like the side content for hours and hours, to the point that I forgot there was a main story attached to this game. And this isn't me supposed to like downplay the story or anything like that. I actually really enjoyed the main story. I'd say it had more consistent themes explored throughout the game than it did in Tsushima. So for this main story, without giving away too much, Ghost of Yotei focuses on the revenge aspect of the narrative. Basically, like your main character is Atsu. Her family was tragically murdered by the Yotei Six, and basically this game is her quest and finding the Yotei Six and killing them to establish honor, and like restore peace to her family, I guess to herself as well. because she believes her this is the way that her family would have wanted. And obviously, this game, I mean, like I think right from the get go, it was kind of predictable that it was going to like go back with the revenge isn't good theme, of course, and how much it can consume one individual life and their mental state, similar to how The Last of Us Part Two explored it. But I think that at least in this game, they make it very obvious, or at least they tie it in the narratively like very well, in terms of like I guess changing your values. Like instead of fighting for your own personal selfish beliefs, why not fight for a greater cause? It sort of shifts to that. Like, are you fighting for yourself? Or are you fighting for the people? Which is kind of expected. But what I really enjoy about this game is that it's mainly about Atsu. It isn't just about like some sort of like clan that was like massacred. I mean, like of course she's fighting for her family to restore quote unquote honor or peace or something like that, so she can put these demons to rest. But it's mainly about her own personal demons than it is in the rather like grand scheme of things. Like sure, there are outposts and things that you can clear, and you can help people, and there are people that like celebrate the Oryo, which is like your nickname, which I believe is demon in Japanese, since they like kind of praise you to being as this like anti-hero stopping crime and saving people's lives. I mean, like it's like it has those themes, but I think in the end this is about Atsu's personal trauma and the way that she's trying to cope with her trauma by killing these people who brought her this trauma. And along the way, without spoiling too much, there's other characters that join the roster in terms of like allies and alliances that Atsu forges throughout her path. People who can aid her with her weapons, her upgrades, her maps, or anything like that, and those like significant side characters throughout the story. I think this is a very well developed narrative, but there are moments where I'm like, it feels very damn cliche. Like, for example, there's like particular moments in here with some of the Yotei 6 or some of the main villains in this game where it just stretches out like this person's arc, where it's like it feels like a cat and mouse like sequence over and over and over and over, where it's like, oh, this guy got away, you gotta go run after him. Oh, you think he was gonna kill him this time? Psych. You got like 3 more missions to go before you can actually kill him. Like it gets repetitive basically, and this happens to almost every single moment in this game where you're close to like killing the main villain or killing one of the villains. Like it just gets to the point where it becomes irritating. There's also moments within the main story in which they're trying to set up like some sort of like prediction, like some sort of like foreshadowing moments in the future. And it's like very obvious of what's going to happen. Like they make it so like obvious that it's like, brother, you could have like left some sort of room of implication there if you wanted to. You don't have to make it so obvious. And also, like, I have to say the flashbacks in this game, I mean, like at least they're short, but they're so like they're so repetitive at times. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand that this is a game about the individual's trauma. Of course, they're going to explore back memories of their PTSD, their motives, why they're doing this, just to highlight how pissed off and how traumatized she is and why Atsu needs to do what she's going to do to the Yotei 6. But it's like, it gets to the point where it's like, we get it, man. You've been repeating the same sequence over and over and over and over and over. And I get it's supposed to be an allegory of PTSD and trauma. But, like to the point where she can't like progress further than that. There's like a barrier that she feels in her mind. But it gets to the point where it's like us as like the game, as the player, like it becomes like Demon Slayer level of like flashback annoying. It's like, brother, we get it. For a narrative's sake, tone it down a little bit, please. But I'm begging you, please tone it down, please. And especially playing those flashback missions, I was just like begging of like, yo, can we go back to like killing Ronan or something? Like I remember like in the earlier parts of the game, like they put one of these flashback missions just to show you, I guess, her family and stuff and what happened. But the back part of my head, I was like, yo, let's go back to just doing side quests, please, bro. I'm begging. Let's have some more action. And don't get me wrong, this game is action packed, even its main storyline. There's a lot of battles, a lot of wars going on. It's incredible. It's epic, just like the first game. But there's some parts where it tries to become a little bit more slower, a bit more like digesting the story, giving you some details, which is fine. But it gets to the point where it's like, I really want to do the cool slashing up part. Like that part got me hyped. It's like It's like dopamine, basically. I think one of my favorite parts of Ghost of Yotei is the amount of just customization there is put into this game. I mean, there's like so many like modes that you can put here. You can put the Watanabe mode, which is for the OST. You can either toggle between the original OST or the Watanabe OST, which I think is phenomenal, man. I mean, like I had the Watanabe mode on from like I think beginning to end, just to see like how it was, and I just like kept it on because it was just so damn good. Like basically, if you guys aren't familiar with Shinichiro Watanabe, he is the creator of Samurai Champloo, and it seems that like I guess Sucker Punch saw the amount of edits that people were doing with Ghost of Tsushima and putting the Samurai Champloo OST over the battles or just the gameplay itself, because like there were so many fan edits with it. Like it just basically like Ghost of Tsushima at times felt like Samurai Champloo 2.0, like just literally. And Yotei basically is Samurai Champloo the video game. I mean, it quite literally got the co-sign from Watanabe himself, because the game mode is actually directed by Shinichiro Watanabe himself. He picked the assortment of songs. He picked all these lo-fi beats you get to hear in the game, which I think is just phenomenal. And it shows that like Sucker Punch did their homework, and Watanabe really likes this game itself. So yeah, I mean, like that's probably the ultimate cosign they're probably gonna get for this game. It's insane. Generally, I love the mode. I think it's very chill, very nice. It matches the scenarios perfectly when you're just riding your horse around these areas, these huge regions. It's very nice, very relaxing, especially during the weather. Like the weather in this game, like the weather system is just super nice and creative. Really sets the tone, especially in the type of missions they're doing. And like it got to the point where I just started just taking screenshots of almost every single thing that I was doing. Man, like I have an entire photo library basically assembled in my PlayStation. I also love that they actually like switched up the battle themes. I don't know if like the theme's the same thing in the original, but at least for the Watanabe mode, there's like this sort of like hip hop style type beat that kind of reminded me like a Griselda type beat. I don't know. I think it matched perfectly to what you would hear like in a Samurai Champloo game. I thought it was incredible, generally. Like they really did their homework. But yeah, there's also like other visual modes. There's the Akira Kurosawa mode, which I believe puts the camera black and white, if I'm not mistaken, to kind of give it that vintage feeling. There's also another game mode that I completely forgot about. It has to do with the visuals too. It basically makes the battle is much more bloodier and much more in your face. I'm usually not a specs type of guy. I mean, like I leave that to the pros, like Digital Foundry, or all these people who understand, the specs and technological stuff better than me. But I think there's like a huge night and day difference in terms of the preset they put for this game. So, like for the first half of this game, I was playing in quality mode, and I realized halfway through that it was like locked at 30. But I'm talking about like it was a smooth 30 FPS. Like it was damn near like unrecognizable basically. And I really didn't have any complaints. Like it was like a steady 30 FPS I was saying, and like the game looked beautiful visually speaking. And then I changed it up to performance mode, and it was like a huge night and day difference. Like obviously 30 to 60 FPS is huge. I was a little bit worried about like how much the quality would drop, and while there is a difference, it's not that annoying or noticeable. I generally didn't mind. If anything, it seems Sucker Punch really wanted to make this game like just flow as smoothly as possible, and I really had to give him props for that, because damn, is this game smooth as butter. I really want to give props to the voice actors for this game. I think Erika Ishii as Atsu was just phenomenal, honestly. Like her delivery, her performances were just everything. I think the motion capture in this game was just really damn well made and put together. There's so much level of detail put in here, like just in terms of the face expressions, the vocal inflections. Like there's so much going on. Like it just felt like straight out of a movie, like Tsushima, but just even more improved with the details. Jubei Noshir Dalal, which I believe he was one of the characters for Star Wars Jedi Survivor and also Red Dead Redemption 2, genuinely just had so much range and so much like emotion poured into this one role, in which I just have to give him a lot of credit. I have to give everybody in this list credit, honestly. Like everybody involved, like you guys killed it basically. Like at least for the English dub, it was incredible. I heard a lot of good things for the Japanese version as well, the Japanese dub. But yeah, I mean, like again, you can't really go wrong with this game. I personally chose the English one because I just want to kind of stay true to the, I guess, original intention, because I believe this game was recorded in English before it was dubbed over in Japanese. Erika Ishii is just such an incredible actress. I love her performance in this game. So I'm glad I went with what I went. I'm pretty sure the other actress did a phenomenal job as well. So shout out to everybody involved in both versions. Generally, it was just incredible performances. I understand some of the complaints that people might have with this game. You know, I already shared my complaints and the things I already enjoyed from this game. But I don't know. I mean, like, people are calling this game too safe for a sequel. I generally don't mind it. I mean, there's just so much like diversity within the weapon system. You have guns, yatis, double sword, double blade katanas, everything, like the bombs. There's so many weapons here. Like, there's so many weapons to the point that I was like, there might be a little bit too much, which is a stupid thing to like kind of complain about. But it just shows the amount of like builds and stuff that you can carry on this game for your playstyle. Like, this game, tries to, I guess, put stealth missions in here, and sometimes it works, but I think for the most part it's not obviously a stealth game. So some of the times kind of feels a little bit awkward, especially since there's not really that much of a penalty for not being stealthy. So whatever. I mean, that was just an excuse for me to basically go, like, guns blazing and stuff, which was exactly what I wanted to do. But my point is that I feel this game was just what it needed to be, if anything, and I would say even more than what it was. Like, the first 10 hours of this game blew my mind away, and even when I played it more and more and more, I had a bigger reason to really care and love the world and immerse myself in the environment and storyline this game has to offer. Sure, this game might not be the most mind-blowing game ever, but for a sequel, I think it's pretty damn good, pretty damn entertaining, which is exactly what I was looking for, and it's a huge win for Sucker Punch. Once again, it's genuinely incredible. Big congrats to the team in the studio and everybody involved within this project. But yeah, what do you guys think of this game? Do you guys love it? Do you guys hate it? Let me know in the comments down below. Very interested to hear what you guys have to say. Subscribe, turn notification bell on so you miss an upload for me. Leave a like in this video if you enjoyed this review. And yeah, see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody, and go play Ghost of Yotei.